Так, ребят, всем привет. А, Такс. Блин, я не вижу, кто залетел, кто нет.
Здравствуйте.
Так, поиграем чуть в Геншин, пока у меня есть времечко. Ага, все, звук идет прекрасно. Икс. Давайте поболтаем пару минут, потому что я сюда не скачала на компьютер обнову. Поэтому я лохушка в какой-то мере. Поэтому, ребят, давайте пообщаемся немножко в чате. Угу, все, чат работает прекрасно. Пум-пум-пум, пум-пум-пум, пум-пум-пум-пум. Грустненько. Тут вообще везде тихо. Так, все еще грузит. Блин, Ботрикс. Был бы... Я уже обрадовалась, а ты меня обломал. Как ты мог? Грустненько. Я сегодня тут на Кудрявом взрыв макаронной фабрики просто. Блин, так грустненько, так тихо, что как-то, блин, очень... Сейчас распаковка ресурсов идет. И фу. Ай-ка моя... Все, все, все. Это растекаешься, а? Скажи мне, пожалуйста. Так, объединение игровых ресурсов нам осталось. Блин, что как-то тихо, как-то грустненько. Ай. Что-то сегодня как-то... Пум-пум-пум-пум-пум-пум-пум-пум-пум-пум-пум. Это я еще в хвосты завязала. Это я еще в хвосты завязала. Блин, ну вот то ночи народу дохерища, то нет никого. Ну так обидно, ну вообще, это нечестно. Я считаю, что Нет слов, одни эмоции. Ура! Пу-пу. Блин, не люблю, когда тихо. Не кипиш подавай, кипиш. Требую кипиша. Скучно. Тихо. Скучно. Ой, блин, чего бы тогда залетел, хоть которому сиськи показать, ну, хоть какой-то кипиш. Это так неинтересно. Неужели? Ты чего? Неужели? Чего ты? Сейчас, минутку, господа, минутку. Чё? Пять минут. Порешаю. Минутку, господа, минутку. Пять. Меня ржет муж. Потому что я ему скинула после того, как я расплелась. Так, сейчас мы переключимся на геймпад. Ну, надо повыпендриваться же, да? Он уже переключился. Все прекрасно, господа. Мне не нравится, что никто не пишет в чате. Кто-то стопудов сидит в тихушку, я уверена.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right? Her clothes are here.
Right. And do you really need to do... Ugh, this is so confusing.
Одежда у девушки в тоннеле обнаружена, а одежда, принадлежавшая пропавшей Холли, как она там оказалась, неизвестно. Ты что? Ля, какая бич? Хуливает. Значит, попробовать что-то, она как-то дышит. Мне не нравится, как она дышит. Блин, это пипец. Сейчас, минутку, ребят, я собаке водички налью. Всё. Магическое появление. Такс. Где моя жена? Да я здесь! Хватит прикалываться. Здесь я, здесь! Балуется он. Сейчас, минутку. И балуюсь. Вредина ты. Ты вредина. Пум-пум-пум. Да, сейчас. Пошел работать. Ну вот ты пиздруй. А то ишь тут он. А при чем тут это? Все.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why?
Oh, Pаймon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over and here's a broken vase.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks.
Let's note this down too and...
Иса пришла. Ту-ту-ту-ту. Так.
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit.
Could this have...
Alone, perhaps. But if they...
There are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that.
Слушай, как это все провернули, блин, зараза.
Seems
Просто
we're
не
just
жалко
done investigating
эти.
down here.
Yes. Let's head back up.
Пум-пум-пум.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement.
Же выписки от врача. Десант для сфинксов. Сведения.
The guards have checked the area carefully.
Так.
No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then.
The plot thickens. Halsey's No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness
Капец.
testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this has ever happened.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the
Капец,
will of
сложно.
justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neverlet called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is yes, the gods also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this.
Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa, whoa! There's no need for that! Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take... what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. hanging out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding! Just kidding! Paimon will still do her best.
Hmm? What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy
Классно, все время
strikes.
с собой пирожные таскает.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to
А, они
taste
с
my
собой
awesome snacks
продукты
soon
для
enough.
пирожных таскают.
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fans don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macro. Anyway, give these a
Помнишь,
try.
сделала?
Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Почему макароны тогда
Only 3?
Харун?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern, I'm merely doing as I should.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal, also the magician twins, could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes but the real trouble...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence, but the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowl.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with them.
Were we not thorough enough from the sound of things? This is turning into an... Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell great. They're nice and...
They are my specialty, after all.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon...
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too loose. Set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you...
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this...
Грустно,
Well,
очень
that's it
грустно,
for snack
никого
time.
нема.
I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, it would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied.
All right, thanks for your help, and for the snack.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
All right, it's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now.
Я знаю, что мы будем делать. Люкс, Лера, привет. Так. Привет, я твой стрелю. О, привет, спасибо! Как кьют мой нашел, когда успел, как? Или подожди. Я глупая, да? Нет, подожди. Не глупая. Ну, ладно, так уж и быть. Я сегодня добрая.
There is no escape.
Прикольная девчулька.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Ты, если что, либо в чат пиши, либо...
Once, there was a glorious kingdom established among the heavens.
Я не помню,
From
куда
that kingdom
пропустить.
came a crowned heir.
Relax.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone
There's no
and
such
unchanging.
thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
5 минут. Погоди. Хочешь чем-нибудь? Слушай. Да фиг его знает. Блин, мы с тобой в прошлый раз играли, а у меня почему-то не сохранилось. Да. Сейчас, погоди.
Shine down. Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Это было? Ну ладно. Я сегодня пока расплелась в испанском, походу каком-то. Короче, у меня есть мысль проебдуть наши крутки.
There's no need to exchange
Вопрос,
those
куда
entries.
теперь нам
It's
их
rather
продуть?
pathetic to force a
Продуть
conversation
на
just to
баннер,
occupy
либо
silence.
продуть на оружейку. Серьезный выбор, господа. Блин, тут Райден. Блять, тяжело. Решаем, на что мы продуваем наши крутки. Да, я тоже.
Relax.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Поэтому давай
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
Чат открыл. Тяжело! С чем-нибудь я пропасть могу, когда плохой. Да, я не знаю, блин, вот дело в том, что я решаю, у меня есть крутки, я вот думаю, куда их проебать, на какой из баннеров. Вот, проебать их на нового персонажа, яко вряд ли я буду качать, давайте признаем данный факт все, да, либо на оружейку. Тяжело. Блин, да, я вроде рассказывала, что меня ак пытались увести. Навию. Да вот, хрен его знает, там в оружейке, короче, сейчас сигна на Райден. Я вот думаю, а нужно ли оно мне это или нет? Давайте попробуем Нави. Но она мне, кстати, из мема напоминает, короче, когда сзади взрывы и типа чел такой в очках идет пафосный. Вот, ну, чё, получается, земля... Чем только можно. Ну, спеть кому-то вообще-то. Задонатьте на Луну, пожалуйста. А лучше на примагемы. А лучше подарите мне просто Луну. Мне просто самой это жаба душит. Ну чё, господа, господесса. Херня. 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 Опа, что-то летит. Блять. Я не могу это терпеть. Это абьюз. В полной мере, я считаю. Ладно, одну сольем на оружейку. Я буду орать, если будет сигнал. Господи. Мне интересная история. Да сейчас ни хера не выпадет, мне до этого лук падал. По фоне, блядь. Пытка. Попытка, не пытка. Ну, я сказала. нас есть еще 2 крутки на стандарт.
The world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at
Чувствую
dawn,
себя лохом.
bubble rising through water, transitory.
Опа! На! О! Конста на Барбару. Это
There's no need to
хорошо.
exchange pleasantries.
Это нам
It's rather
надо.
pathetic
О!
to force a conversation just to occupy silence.
Блин, да. А это разве не это? А тогда на кого это меч? Просто он вечно, короче, в стиле Райден. Поэтому... Подожди. Рассекающий туман. А на кого он идет? Позже. Сейчас проверим.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
Блин, короче, сейчас, подожди, я посмотрю. Аяку. А что в стиле Райден сделали? Глупые какие. Вообще.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
А, ну он на Беннета, Кея, Яка, Аята, Вицин. Мне, короче, походу, чел пытается подкатить. По стандартам диалога. Так. Кто-нибудь сходил за колой. Было бы прекрасненько.
All the
You
world
think I've
holds
got a
dear
Отправляется.
song?
is but a
I just
backdrop
tell it
of
like it
constant
is.
motion.
If someone can't handle it,
I stand
Maybe
before
that's
it,
their problem.
alone and unchanging.
Точно, у нас же это, на Барбару. Как приятно. Барбара C3. Так, куда мы пойдем? Пойдем. Что нам нужно было? Сейчас я посмотрю, что нам нужно было. Мы что-то качали из оружейки этой Какоми, да? А что я ставила Какоми? А, Какоми я ставила этот, блять. Сегодня у нас чё? Нет, у нас сегодня суббота, ни хера не выйдет. Слушай, а вот это истина Кагура, кого-нибудь еще можно запихнуть? Да. Блин, ну еба.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Ай, надо просто сейчас подумать, кого нам качать. А, слушай, надо посмотреть другое. Ща, да мне надо перла. Так неожиданно появился. Я напишешь. Блять, арты как минимум на какоме. А как максимум нам нужны... Тоже воскресенье. Да иди все в жопу. Короче, нам нужны артефакты на какоме. Все, пойдем. Ты меня, мой юный подаван. Оп, твою.
The world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory.
Да, ёб твою. Чел. Чел не верит, что я работаю в тюрьме. Ты чё нам куда? Давай, патрулируй. Нам нужны арты на какоме. Давай! Я в тебя верю. Блять, ты круг нарушаешь. Хорошо, да, хорошо. Блять, да. Плохо, когда плохо Нет, нифига. Хорошо. Потому что вот выходные-то заканчиваются, они хорошие, они... Выходные хорошие, но плохо, что они заканчиваются. То есть... Блять, твое утверждение неверно, чел. Я очень рад за тебя, чел. Блять, вот этот чел уходит, когда он узнает, что у меня есть муж. А ты на Вовке на стриме заходил вообще? Чтобы ты его продинамил. О, мне пришел чехол.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world. Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
Сердце глубин. А я не знаю, что там надо на какоме. Я не смотрела.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Seems like the stories here never have a happy ending.
There's no need to exchange pleasantries. It's rather pathetic to
Тогда о чем мы стоим? Бежим! Бежим! Мчим! Гоним, гоним! Давай, давай, какой-то форсаж. У меня в последнее время спина вообще от любого... Не знаю, я стою, у меня болит спина. У меня все болит спина. О. Вот. Подождите, сейчас я выберу самую наудобнейшую позу. И... Не осуждаем меня, вообще-то. Осуждать нельзя. У меня тут еще вообще-то кошка. Чел, видимо, реально хочет подкатить. Обломать его сейчас, либо обломать попозже. Лилит, вот это ты, конечно, офигела. Чё мы стоим? Чим? Дэнсим. Трусишки. Ага. Да я ищу, да вот ищу. Да, блядь. Ну, слушайте, нормальные такие трусишки. Хорошо, не стринги. Стринги неудобно. Вообще неудобно. Ну, я бы на ее месте надела бы какие-нибудь шортики. Такие, они вот такие вот. Трусишки все-таки видны. Кики, что ты там делаешь?
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Seems like the stories here never have a happy ending.
Блин, слушай, я последний раз прочитывала там сообщение в апреле.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Relax.
А, ты все еще здесь стоишь?
You think I've got a sharp tongue? I just tell it like it is. If someone can't handle it, maybe that's their problem.
The world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water.
Простите, грешную, отвлеклась. Не бей. Нет, ну нет. Ну скажи, что ты меня троллишь, да?
The winter shogun approaches.
Ну, я не хочу. Здесь холодно. Я не люблю драконий хребет. Всей душой ненавижу. Возьми тогда кого-нибудь Криву. Либо давай я блять, я не знаю кого. Нам...
Relax.
Ой, блять. Чела жалко. Я вон свои локоны расплела, и теперь я как этот. Блять. Как непонятно кто. И ладно. И умрем.
Illusion shattered.
Stop. Let me do it.
Detached from the world.
Чтоб ваши ушки это.
Don't break my glasses.
Блять. Так.
I should sleep on it.
Don't waste my time. Your life is mine. Wait.
Слушай, надо тебе тоже сдохнуть. Говорю, блин, потому что там есть стратегии, такие как график с 8 до 3 и слуга. Говорю... Телефон новый, а я привыкла палец ставить, и я динамик перекрываю, удобно. Зараза! Всё. Мы ложки. Блять, у меня есть роллы, я думаю, может похомячить роллы, но придется вырубить вепку, потому что на тролла нельзя жрать роллы. Ну, вообще еду. Лили, Тики! А я не пон. Да блять. Да я вот сейчас. Неужели, блядь? Чел пытается ко мне подкатить, и, короче, типа, вот, ты такая милая, сидела, неординарная, где ты работаешь? Я говорю, блядь, в тюрьме я работаю, ёб твою мать. Не подыхай! Вот, и, короче, я записала ГС, он такой, почему ты там работаешь? И прям пишет, какой голос милый. А рост у тебя какой? 1,57 м, блядь. Что за расспросы? Я не люблю такое. Да не! Возьми хил. Мы подхилимся и будем жить. Ладно, мы сделаем так и будем жить, надеемся. То чувство, когда странник стал нахидой. А, подожди, это наш ник, блядь. Я тупой. Что? Блядь. Ёбаный в рот, это ваше казино! Стикер он там выбирает. Задолбал. Тупой. Отброс. Все, иди давай сразу в этот. Жадина.
Given the circumstances, I'm happy to help.
Animal test 6308. Yeah.
The victor has been decided.
Нам пизда.
Absorption test.
We are all but gone.
There is no escape.
Absorption test.
Shine down. Now you shall perish.
Opening box.
There is no escape. Inazuma shines eternal.
Faster.
Illusion shattered.
Orders given. Orders received.
Блять! А я только тащила.
Torn to oblivion. There is no escape.
Блять.
Now you shall perish. Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion.
Orders given. Orders received. Simulation. Yeah.
сделали? Так, это чё? Треуголка в пятнах вина. Так, сила атаки, защита, мастерство стихий, сила атаки. Пиздец. Чё, мы еще раз идем?
The wind rises.
Слушай, это точно тут сет на каком?
Relax.
Блять, чел. Иди нахуй. А разве не стойкость миелита нужна для какого случая в качестве хила? Либо я что-то путаю. А, ну слушай, сердце глубин тоже можно.
I have failed.
Мы сдохли.
I'm sorry.
Чи, блять. Блин, бонус лечения, а мне
Need
даже...
to make
Я тоже сдохла.
The thunder falls silent.
my research
Блять.
has failed.
The things that are most
Мы
important, no matter what
подохли.
it takes, even when it looks futile.
Принимай приглашение. Что у тебя там такое? Я тоже уже половину первого.
The shield
Завтра.
broken.
Не факт. Завтра жопошник придет с работы и заберет себе компудахтер.
Relax. Everything was futile.
Да блять! Поэтому я не люблю это говно.
Is this the end of Genshin?
Блять!
What was that? Oh, it's gone. Can... Nice and spicy.
Вы подумали об одном и том же, да? Иу. Может, и завтра Вовка, возможно, заберет компудахтер, мне не даст. Ну давай еще разочек и хватит. У меня завтра просто выходной. Поэтому завтра я как бы
Adventure team,
могу
assemble!
поспать. Да, все. Сейчас последний разочек. И
Or not.
я буду дальше сюжет проходить. Может, даже поем роллов. А что, тебе так нравится смотреть мои стримы, да? No. Жалко мне подписка, я свои дела. Вот, я это... Африканка. Муж пишет, что это не его жена. Это зайди. Нормально, да? И не выходи. Вы не в школе. Пилять. Потом.
Get back. I'll finish this.
О, пилю.
There is no escape.
I'm the front man, it's the fireman. Boba, get them! Race you!
Сука! Слушай, у тебя там ульта не насобиралась?
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal. There is no escape. Nothing. Illusion shattered. Now you shall perish. Your life is mine.
сука! Не пизда.
But the truth is still unknown.
Грейс Голд, привет. Что-то нам сегодня вообще не фартит.
The victor has been decided.
Слушай, а что мне делать с почти нихуя хп? Все, я тоже сдохла. Сегодня не наш день, слушай. Вот поэтому я терпеть не могу ходить на драконий хребет. Че, ты спать пойдешь? Да ну нет, мы просто артефакты на каком собираем. А что-то сегодня нам не фартит, не наш день, видимо.
Is there time for a quick snack? I'll whip one up in no
Yeah.
time.
Все-таки последний разочек, да? Да. Ну, этот... Господи, как он называется-то? Сердце глубин собираем, вот. А то у меня какой-ми есть, ахилл.
Good things come to those who...
Вообще в хил. Ну какой-ми она мне только для хила и нужна. Больше нафиг она мне не нужна. Зачем она мне в ДДшник?
Benny's adventure team, assemble! You're in over your head. Let me try.
Блять. Да, какая разница? Что тот, в принципе, сойдет. Блять. Пидорас. Пидорасина.
Absurd. Let's light it up.
Suma shines eternal. There is no escape.
Хуй знает, честно, я уже сдохла. Слушай, ну я вроде смотрела, что как-то нету разницы великой. Микрофон только бьется. Ни хера не дает. Подожди, так не обязательно на гидроурон. Ты ж поставишь в любом случае артефакты по статам артефактов. Витя, может быть, ты уйдешь? Сейчас даже почитаю.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from. Need me to come up with some for you?
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Да, она ушла. Или... Лилит. Лилит. Она ушла. Слушай, она покушать ушла.
I got a new letter from an informant.
Inactivity serves
Looks
no
like the
purpose
situation has
whatsoever.
changed again.
Ну, слушай, она, в принципе, с этим... С лунным сиянием будет как и поддержка, как и лечение, в принципе. Поэтому я не думаю, что будет хуже.
The world remains constant over the centuries.
Navigating the
human
world is
life
a
is
whole
like the
lot
dew at
easier with a
dawn,
few different
or a
identities to
bubble
choose
rising
from.
through water.
Need me to come up with some for you?
Transitory.
Так, слушай, Ися пришла, тебе повезло. Я. Покиля. Красавец.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
И почему впервые во всех гайдах, в принципе, ставится выбор разных этих артов моллюск? Вообще рекомендуют ставить как раз-таки моллюска, либо стойкость миелита, либо же сердце глубин. То есть вот этих 3 сета рекомендую. Или
The world
good
remains
roll.
constant over the centuries.
All right, maybe I'll take
But
one
human
more day
life
off
is like the
and
dew at
knock
dawn,
out the rest of the
or a
work once
bubble
I'm feeling
rising
up to
through
it.
water.
чуть видно, он
Transitory.
пошокает, она к зиме немножко оттеплилась. Да я-то посмотрю, слушай, но я бы не сказала, что я какая-то офигеть, какая опытная, прям вот. Я не знаю, почему все мне пишут смотреть персов. Всё, ты улеглась? Как упадешь? Ты это поняла, да, уже? Жопа перевешивает. В принципе, кидай, мне не жалко смотреть. Ну, в хай-клабе и точно так же. Какая разница, что чаще игроки ставят? Тут дело вкуса в любом случае, это во-первых. Во-вторых, я также в хай-клабе сейчас сидела и точно так же рекомендуют либо моллюск, либо этот... Забыла. Сердце глубин. То есть вот этих 2 сета. Поэтому... Подожди, я даже так сделаю.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant
I see
motion.
everything.
Бля, кто ко мне
I stand
заходит?
before it, alone and unchanging.
Ну, 67% ставят как моллюска, да. 17 стойкость миелита. Кто-то юную деву ставит. Слушай, я во всех гайдах смотрю, и во многих сердце глубин ставят. Тут можешь посмотреть просто даже в хай-клабе. Шиори просто посмотреть. Я дура, что ли, тебе фигню буду говорить какую-то. Ну тут... Ешь не обязательно, мы пока просто пошли. Может быть, на моллюска. Сейчас посмотрим. Пока только мы один раз просто зашел. Не душни, душнила. Я вообще не очень люблю ходить по данжам, выбивать сеты. Китя, ты, мне кажется, прибалдел. Она уже уснула. Блин, слушай, чтобы... Сейчас, блядь, так, найти. Не туда. О, давай, ложись, баиньки, приходи еще.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Мгм. Ну, у тебя 57 ранг. Нормально, у тебя хутао есть. В принципе, нормальная хп у хутао. М. А чё сюда этот зачесался? Ну, в принципе, нормально. Блин, нормально выпало, так повезло, повезло. Ну, он аж С1 хутао, нихуя себе. А я к С1. Кому-то чел отсосал, я чую. Ну, ведь видишь, ты ее сам просто на моллюску собирал, поэтому и это... Если оно у тебя в часах-то другое, вон, часы осмысления поставил. Час осмысления засчитано. М.
Inactivity serves no
Сейчас,
purpose
минутку.
whatsoever.
Я что хочу проверить. Ну так, то это фулсет, 5 можно любой из другого сета. Ну, никто не отвечает.
All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion. I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
В атаке. Нормально, в принципе. Блин, ну тут дело вкуса, каждого по-разному собирает. Я бы не сказала, что это я сейчас по большей части на Барбаре сижу. Сянка в пачке. Блин, а у меня сянка, кстати, С6. Это С7 уже. А так, в принципе, что, я не могу ничего сказать плохого об аккаунте, в принципе, что. А чё, этого не стал Кадзуху поднимать? Зато Синтю прям хорошо вроде качать начала, а это... Сянка вообще обделили Сянку. Ися уснула. Что сигну выбил? Прям хрю. То есть... Блять, кому ты сосешь? Ты кому-то отсасываешь. Ладно. Ты я еще Ты кому-то сосешь! Признавайся. Потому что ты не стал возвышать оружие, ты решил Сянке отдать. Блять. Ты кому-то отсасываешь. Кому-то отсасываешь. Поэтому отсасывать ему вместе, блять. Мне, в принципе, я Барбара, мне удобно, например, вот лично я так Барбарой пользуюсь. И хил, и урон, то есть большой. Потому что я бывает там Райден это, и я бывает там слизни просто. То есть я на Райден Ешку использую, и потом там возьму Барбару и просто обычными ударами бью, там, а их еще электричество иначе. То есть мне так удобно. Чтобы сильно не заморачиваться. Так вот, давай, подгоняй мне, пожалуйста, этот. А кто это ко мне добавился? Да, я кого-то добавила, кого добавила? Ты это. Я, кстати, раньше была в креативном сообществе Геншина. Вот. А потом я... Блин, я еще подумаю, мы не стали особо сильно его пока собирать, мы только на один раз в данж сходили, поэтому пока сильно как-то на это рассуждать смысла нет. Вот, я, забыла, там каждый месяц нужно было обновлять заявку, я забыла, а там, блядь, так-то примагем жирненько давали. И потом заново у меня попасть так и не получилось ни хера. Там, видимо, переполнено было. Я такая, блядь. Обидно. Вот, а так я уже давненько не играла. Лили, слушай, а давай ты ляжешь мне немножко по-другому. Не это. Все, ложись. Нормально, слушай, я не гонюсь за цифрами. Мне главное, чтобы мне было просто комфортно играть, не более. Я не цифродрочер, мне это не надо. Я люблю сюжетку, я люблю просто побегать по картам, но не пылесосить. И все, но за цифрами мне как-то так по барабану, кто сколько бьет. Нормально, так нормально.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
Вот, а так я уже, наверное, больше года не играла, почти, наверное. Ну, прям нормально. И я решила поиграть, плюс Фонтейн вышел, Сумеру, и я говорю, ну, настал мой час. Вот. Так-то, если бы я играла, наверное, у меня уж ранг, наверное, 58-й был бы давно, 59-й. А это что-то как-то не до этого совсем было вообще. Другие заботы, другие дела были. Да, я как-то не сломлюсь, мне типа выпадет, хорошо, не
Clear
выпадет,
skies can do
ну
nothing to
ладно.
hide the brilliance of
М,
lightning.
Я бы Сигну на
Divine
Райден
bolt can
выбила,
strike even in
кстати.
the
Вот
absence of rain.
это я бы выбила.
Do you see that
А
tree?
так,
Wait,
блин, не
you
знаю.
understand? So,
Не сказала,
devastation
что
is not
как-то...
required. Good.
Прикольная девчулька. Выпадет, будет классненько. А так... Мне не принципиально. У меня как-то все персы по большей части по случайности, кроме, наверное, Сяву. Я выбивала целенаправленно, Райден выбивала такое. А так... Мне просто нравится. Ну да, но у меня Райден С1, поэтому... Я просто сигнатурку, наверное, на нее выбью. Может быть, задоначу немножко. Хотя я особо честно, у меня фри-то-плейный аккаунт полностью. Слушай, это случайно вышло.
But human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory.
Ну, подожди, сейчас. У меня вот Сайна есть. Игнари. Мика. Блять, Лилит, ляжь, пожалуйста, так, чтобы ты не падала. Большое тебе спасибо. Фэньхэ. Фэньхэ мне вообще, наверное, на курутку 14-ю выпала. После Сяо. Такоми. Райвен. 2021 года. Сяо. Альбеда есть. У меня на Яо, подожди, сейчас. Мона есть. Чича. Дилюк. У Райден С1. Сянка у меня С7. Побольше. Да, она мне 7 раз выпадала, да. Захароза С1. Барбара С3. Ну, Сяо ничего нету. Какоми тоже. Беннет. Рейзер. Шиньха ничего. Да. Мона С1. Дилюк С1. Так, эти у меня больше без цешек вроде. Так, это Лайва. Ага. Я не знаю, я не люблю лучников, терпеть не могу, и у меня 2 лука по итогу, которыми я не пользуюсь, потому что они мне нахер не нужны, я ненавижу лучников. Вот. Ну, блядь. Тоже периодически нужным людям сосу. А, подожди, я не сам... А, я до сих пор самецкий, что ли? Блядь. Блин, можно было бы отдать, честно, я поддала. Типа, мне он нахер не нужен. Привет, я твой стрим... А, это... До этого. Я уснул. Ну, может быть.
Is but a backdrop of constant motion.
А, 80, мне
I
почему-то
stand
вечер.
before it, alone and unchanging.
Ну, если он мне нахер не нужен, то вот куда мне его девать? И жалко ведь. И, блин...
The world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water.
Китя. Китя уснула.
Do? The whole situation is so confusing. Good plan.
Just relax. Even if everyone else is besides, I doubt Farina understands.
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you—
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding them— Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have—
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on—
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be
Фокус
that—
жалко, блин, так над ним работали долго.
You ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began. And
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
in that case, I call upon the prosecution, Lady Farina.
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact,
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask—
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud.
Huh?
Hey, hang on.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundation— Tell me, aren't you and Lynette—
The House of the Hearth?
Они что, фаты?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an act.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us— Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night—
Hey, Linny, what—
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to read first. When the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Are these claims true? Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Ну-ка.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to decide?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after— In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Лили больно.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah. So.
Paimon just knew it. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you not to set the wrong tone or anything, but
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised, but our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Ай,
Right now,
так-то они были бы полезны очень.
as many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, you met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
well, you both say that, but right. Let's hear your answer first.
Of course. I'll answer any. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver set? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's. Which should have been impossible, of course. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to get. After that, the homicide occurred just as.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secret.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna. Huh? Hope!
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
Ребят, погодите минуту, у меня тут ЧПшка. камеру.
When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linny's perspective.
Лучше оценить несостоятельную часть свидетельств в самом сражении другой стороны. Пульс, полученный в ходе расследования. Ох, блять, сложно. С началом обратного счета он спустился в тоннель. Когда мимо проезжала тележка, он открыл ящик, и у них сходу случилась борьба, в результате которой мы услышали тот самый звук. А опровергнуть как?
He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed Earl. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that so Linny proceeded to knock him out. Afterward, Linny packed. And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. Seems... Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's... Linny did not take part in the underground altercation.
Attention! Ace Detective, when the countdown started, Linny did indeed, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice. In in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And finally, he reached the surface. And that was when the... Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to save...
In other words, you believe that he...
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's... well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box, the... You're saying that he wasn't.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Paimon thinks they're... That's right! Linny wasn't in the box. This means that when the crime happened, the same clue you used to disprove his alibi...
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The deceased's name is Cowl, Linny's assistant. He would have been able... Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or... could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary... The deceased's name is Cowl, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with...
Huh? That can't be right.
Oh, is that so? How interesting!
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowl did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator... Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So... the sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowl, Linny's assistant. No one entered or left the It would have been tough for both people to fit. Halsey's clothing was...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble
I see how it is. So this was...
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared. Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is...
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing... The deceased's name is Cowl, Linny's assistant. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The vase was not broken by chance.
Так, брысь оттуда.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared and Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only Cook. If there's a similar method...
Oh, just a moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about. Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But
even so, the truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may... Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt...
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an... Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the...
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water.
The primordials.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword is... One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of... As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is...
You've gotta be kidding! People dissolve...
It's something so ridiculous.
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy.
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to... Wait just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your part?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported.
Of course. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case is...
Right! Like the metal hook! Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water...
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. I remember there was something else with... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but wasn't... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fire... The water from the primordials... The rope that strung the water tank... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was instead some form of triggering mechanism. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's... The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and... The rope that strung the water... The deceased's name is... The deceased's name is... The water from the primordial sea should already have been... The rope that strung the water tank up was lit... I remember there was something... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the... I remember there was some...
It's Ace Detective Pаймon! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number select when the magic box containing Halsey was lowered. The metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seeds. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel. With the remaining... But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel.
Huh. That actually links together a lot of the more...
Oh dear. What do I Even I think they sound convincing now.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is his notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicate I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, does this not clear? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me... Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave, having made modifications to the props beforehand. His accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea.
Я ненадолго отрублю камеру.
But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired so ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now. And I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must...
Miss, I must ask you not to...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared. What in the...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the
I understand.
And voila!
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, then I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us.
Where should I begin?
What?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. And I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey! No wonder you look familiar. So you... Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and there was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire... Seems this won't produce... The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to... The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lily-Ann and... Lily-Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and...
And it's Ace Detective Paimon! Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann, her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann had not... He did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid... that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them.
At this point, all the events that...
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you... Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended.
What? Are you reading my... No. I have no further arguments.
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected to cover up any evidence while committing the deed. Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structure. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny...
Hooray, Linny and Lynette! Amazing!
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially...
Great work, Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an... How did you find the water from the primordial sea in...
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know!
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you. I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon...
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher...
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes! Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea.
And now he can no longer.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's true.
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lenny.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui, I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of... That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, back when our parents first died, Lynette and I, to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his... I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come. Before long, an aristocrat came to me, and...
So you went from orphan...
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side, and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circle.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
It took a while after one particular performance at a banquet. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift.
Oh no. So, but wouldn't Fontaine...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement. All of the Knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me... The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. I was hesitant to trust her. I had just been betrayed by... But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes...
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water. Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the Knave, has their roots in Fontaine. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis...
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best.
Bye, Linny.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navi?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been and given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only... Sorry. I might have...
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really
Спасибо
need
за
to be
фоллоу.
partners, huh?
Я просто сейчас кушаю, поэтому вебку я отключила.
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every... Anyway, it would just be a me...
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm if Boss...
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why...
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like...
In that case, I'll go...
Ooh, everything looks so good.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone.
Yeah. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case...
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to... Speaking of cases, do you think that the master...
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that the...
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever...
Right? Yet it was because this was such a
If only that guy could have finished speaking!
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might... It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that a different It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking which is exactly why the Spina di Rosu... Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through.
Seems Paimon thought things...
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a fair... Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future...
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended.
I see. So, your primary... I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite...
Yeah. We've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of...
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the
could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off.
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the... I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy...
That might work, but that's not really...
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a... All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could... You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False?
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense. Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is...
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon.
No, it's fine. We're just about done.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and...
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have... If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so...
Okay. As for expenses this month...
Hey, Navia! What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your requests the highest priority. In any case, see ya!
People around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here. Huh? Traveler? Are you here? That's...
Vache?
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? Huh? Hang on. Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Vache, are you my dear No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear my memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten? Yes, that is what I was once. But I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all I also remember going to many places. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly... But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of... No! Our reunion no longer has... The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only... Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great war. Is that what you call it? Dissolving. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless... I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of... I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think. Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence.
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Navi is outnumbered!
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance! I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you
I followed you. It seemed to me.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do this.
Do not speak!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech.
Sorry, I did not.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did...
I doubt I know much more than you. But I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearance. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
Huh. I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, and what about these Gardamex? I thought only those
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do...
I will continue investigating, no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand. But...
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being
I know, she's...
Oh, thank goodness! Pаймon thought we were done! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and not— Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Pаймon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnet.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula.
All right, you two.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger?
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Pаймon.
Huh? Really? Pаймon?
Yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake. After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I saw that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty? The color...
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the...
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Huh. Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate. But whoever did this left no That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and...
What? Why would they go after us, too? All we did was defend Linny and...
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the—
Well, it can't be coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real faint. Does this situation, does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's—
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? What?
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that... Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene. But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been... Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate. Oh, you mean you'll help us in...
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right? And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the...
You talk too much. Well, in that case, we also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But...
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is...
Seriously? But, Mr. Morris, I don't understand, sir. But what about my...
Well...
Oh...
Hey, isn't that Xavier?
Oh, why, if it isn't the dear traveler. Well,
Can't you just find a different...
Unfortunately, that's not how it works. We had signed an agreement specific to the Fontanalia Film Festival.
The Fontanalia Film Festival?
Oh, is the the holiday...
But what's with that weird expression on your face? It's like you're trying really hard to remember something.
I was just trying to recall the exact description from the books. In order to...
Well, either way, Paimon thinks she gets it now. It's just like the...
Yes, those are to commemorate the luck. But a few years ago, the whole thing seemed...
Oh, that sounds pretty fun.
Yes, it appears I've strayed off topic. The Fontanalia Film Festival is an event proposed by the Fontaine Film Association this year. Now that film tech... During this time, people may submit films to be evaluated, and the
what award?
The Farina Award! You know, after the Hydro Archon. They coined it while Lady Farina was still in power, but even though things have... Perhaps everyone still thinks of it as a pretty appropriate name. Even though she isn't the Hydro Archon any longer, Lady Farina is... Oh, but who would have guessed there'd be an issue with the funding? How will I...
Chiori? Sounds familiar. Where have we heard that name before?
Yes, that's her. I asked her to oversee the event's art direction.
Oh, Paimon remember...
How to describe her remarkable design? Anyway, Chiori is acquainted...
Who are the actors from Inazuma?
Why don't the two of you, judging from the time, the Aquaba...
It's right up ahead.
I've been keeping watch, demoiselle. I haven't
Huh. Very good.
I shall find rooms for our...
Thank you, Maloose. Now,
Буду на этом заканчивать. Всем спасибо за стрим. Всем пока. Ложиться спатеньки. Время уже поздновато. Что-то